Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, October 31st, 2020. Don't worry, this is going to be a very peaceful podcast. There will be no goblins, no ghouls, no headless horsemen running about. No, just you, me, and Barney. So, what topics are there to talk about this week, you ask? Well, your host will be talking about the Godzilla anime that is coming to Netflix. Singular Point, I believe it's called. Assassin's Creed is getting a Netflix anime as well. Destiny 2 has been memorialized by a YouTuber. Well, some of the campaigns, anyway. There's finally a Gunpla manual guide. This is really impressive, and Crunchyroll will soon be bought by Sony. All this and more this week on the absolutely, completely random podcast. But above all else, if you have a moment, might you consider stopping by the certain eBay page of your host, ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay? There's a wide variety of things for sale, including but not limited to trading cards, DVDs, and figurines, action figures, some toys. There's a whole slew of things over there. Come on by and check it out. I may only exist for one fleeting moment, but remember the holidays are fast approaching. And soon, even though my time in the sun will begin to set, another's time will rise. So check out ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. And don't forget, you can follow the podcast by clicking the subscribe button and ringing the notification bell icon. You can also check out your regular host over on his official Twitter page at Otaku Roads on Twitter, and you can also check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page because it's magical. All right, so this is the part of the podcast where I usually talk about how my week went, and technically speaking, it wasn't a bad week, but it also really wasn't that great of a week either. So you take what you get. So I actually managed to have my very first ever virtual interview this week because I am trying to find another job. It's mostly, it's not that I want to leave exactly where I am for, oh, I think the job's too hard or something. I want to find something else because I've been there for 4 years. I starting to feel like I'm not really contributing anything anymore. I kind of feel like it's becoming a pain in the ass anymore. And I want to find something a little better. Plus, with my grandfather passing away earlier this month, it did kind of put a strain on the finances a bit because he did help pay for some of the stuff. But, it's not like I can't handle the bills. It's just, it is what it is. I'd like to find something else if I can. So there was that this week. That was like on Tuesday. Monday was pretty much mundane for the most part. So was last Sunday. I know you probably noticed that the podcast went up a little later. I think I had it last Sunday. I'm trying to nail down when everybody's going to be like on. So it's not like sitting there for an hour, not being viewed, and then all of a sudden, boom, then there's like a massive amount of people. And plus, since I put this down as a premiere, it does kind of make a difference. I'm still experimenting with it, so it's not a fine-tuned science yet. But that was Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Wednesday I went to work, came home. Nothing really exciting happened, so to speak, so that was sort of a mundane day too. Thursday, I want to say, there is that. And then yesterday was just bleh. A little update though for the channel. I did do the Q&A. You probably saw it come up by now. I figured I would be nice and make it a nice little special, episode. So there was that. But otherwise, just a reminder to everybody, because as of right now, I still have my job that I have now, my part-time job at Five Below. Um, Night shift will probably be starting not this coming week, not like the week that this podcast is out, like the very 1st of November, but probably the next week. So when that happens, keep in mind that's gonna reduce the amount of videos that I can put up at a time. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go forward into this. So like, don't get upset if all of a sudden, hey, there's no video up this week, or hey, there's no video, like no rand video up on Monday, or there's no video up. I have to record them because with everything that happened at the start of like the very end of September, beginning of October, that kind of put a massive dent into my, here, let me record a lot of this and then have videos ready to go for, November and December. That kind of killed the majority of that. So that does kind of put a damper, I want to say, on my plans, but it's not an entire deal breaker, but it's still, it puts a damper on it. So there is that. I'm going to try to get some stuff recorded. I have some ideas, especially something for December. I kind of have a neat little idea was batting around in my head. So I don't know if it'll work or not, but that's sort of what I'm working on. But otherwise, yeah, it's just wanted to let everybody know that, hey, because I may not be able to respond at night, which when I usually respond to like a lot of comments would be like after 6 o'clock, because I'll be working night shift, which means that I'll be probably getting up at like 8 o'clock at night so I can shower and be out the door by 9 so that I can be at work by 10. Because I don't know what my schedule is going to be like yet. It wasn't solidified, so there is that. But I just wanted to let everybody know so that they're not like, hey, what's going on? How come you're not responding to my comments? Because during the holidays where I work at, we shift from early morning to overnight, which annoys the hell out of me. I won't lie. But because of that, it does put a damper on my channel a bit, because it makes it harder for me to record stuff, because I have to play the game of, do I have, time to record it, and can I just do it like quick early in the morning when I get home from work, and then go to sleep, and then wake up, and then it's because night shift takes a lot out of you. It really does. But that's just wanted to let everybody know that that's probably going to be happening in the next couple weeks. So keep that in mind. And that'll be pretty much to the end of the year, like the first week of January at best. So keep that in mind. Just wanted to let everybody know that. Otherwise, it's gonna be a wonderful, I guess, week. Hope everybody enjoyed their Halloween. I know this is going up on November 1st, and daylight savings time's already taken effect, and we're now up an hour, even though it won't feel like it, and it's gonna screw with a lot of people. And at this point, I don't care. I hate daylight savings time at this point, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so let's get into the podcast, shall we? And let's get this thing going. Alright, so I'm sure that a lot of you out there remember me talking about the Godzilla anime that's headed to Netflix. Well, we now know it's called Godzilla Singular Point. The anime received a poster, a trailer, and a short detail explaining what in the holy hell is going on. It's actually kind of interesting, I want to say. So, I can actually watch the trailer because I don't have a sound. My sound's not on right now, so I can actually pull the trailer up and watch it. But it's a Netflix original anime series, which I really wish they would stop doing. Something Stirs, and the trailer looks, I'm not gonna lie, pretty good. Toho Animation's in on this. We got a pterodactyl flying around. You got, people running around. It's actually, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, the trailer is pretty cool, especially for this, because remember, I was a little weary, I should say, about how they were gonna do this, because, well, let's face it, Godzilla is that property that has liberties taken with it. I mean, look at the 1998 Godzilla movie. That thing was a freaking joke. Look at the 2014 Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston. That was a disaster. And with this, at least we got something that's relatively good looking, at least. The plot is also kind of interesting, because apparently, according to the flick, the series is going to center around the young geniuses Mei Kamina Kamino, a female researcher, and Yoon Aki Arikawa, a male engineer, as they take on an unprecedented threat with their companions. And the tagline, according to NX or at NX on Netflix, and according to their Twitter handle, which yeah, I'm not a fan of Netflix. I'm really not. Um, says when danger comes up from the depths, only young geniuses Mei, Yoon, and their team can face the threat in Godzilla's singular point. Take a first look at next year's new series featuring the classic monster, and then they have the trailer underneath it, which I just sort of described. So, I mean, for starters, the poster isn't bad looking. I'm not going to lie, it is pretty good. But what the trailer has definitely gotten a lot of people excited for, and the hindsight of this. Because I had never known that this was an actual standalone character until I played, I don't remember which Godzilla game it was. I think it was the one for the PlayStation 2 or one of the ones that came out for like the PS2, the GameCube, and all that. There's a character called Jet Jaguar. And I had thought that Jet Jaguar was actually in the Godzilla franchise. No, Jet Jaguar is actually its own character. A friend of mine, when I was making the comment, I'm like, yeah, I never heard of this Jet Jaguar. It looks like an Ultraman ripoff. And all of a sudden, my one friend, I'm like, well, it's part of the Godzilla franchise. And my friend's like, oh, no, it's his own franchise. He's his own character. They just, shoehorned him in. So, amongst all of the 2021 anime announcements from Netflix, which, first off, please, for God's sake, Netflix, stop making anime. I don't care if you're successful with it. It's the blind leading the blind at this point. And I have my reservations about it. You know my thoughts on Netflix. You shove all your shit behind a paywall, and then you basically do the drug dealer business plan of, here, have a taste of what Netflix has to offer, and then you try to sucker people in by having them pay for the rest of it. It's like, oh yeah, the first hit's for free. No, now you gotta pay. Yeah. But Godzilla's Singular Point is getting some serious attention, and it really is. It's from Bones and Orange. This is what the title's basically from. It's currently keeping its secrets, but it's revealed a few surprises. For one thing, more than characters from the Kaiju's franchise will be making an appearance. Among them is a certain grinning robot. So we get Jet Jaguar, who's going to be part of this. It's actually kind of interesting, because in the trailer, we kind of see Jet Jaguar sort of, I guess, in a warehouse. In the trailer, it's just like a really quick, shot of it. But I have to admit, this is kind of interesting. So, yeah, I mean, in all honesty, this is kind of cool. So the trailer revealed Jet Jaguar, though only for a moment, but it's got a lot of fans excited. The unique entry in Toho's canon is so obscure. He's been the stuff of April Fool's jokes, so seeing him again is exciting. We have no idea how he'll figure yet. I'm assuming, judging from the plot of Singular Point, that Yoon's team is basically making Jet Jaguar. And they're using Jet Jaguar, because there was like a lot of monsters in the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, there was like a lot of monsters that they were fighting. So my assumption is that they're going to be using Jet Jaguar as sort of the kaiju stopper. Think Pacific Rim, and he's a Jaeger. There you go. That's literally about what I'm assuming, that this is how he's going to be shoehorned into this. So, I mean, it kind of sucks that that's true, but then again, he is sort of a robot in the first place. So, for those that aren't hardcore kaiju fans, and by the way, I'm reading right off the Otaku USA magazine.com article. You can pull it up in the description. Jet Jaguar may only ring a bell thanks to Mystery Science Theater 3000. For me, it was more actually for that Godzilla game that I played, because Jet Jaguar was a playable character, and I just thought he was fucking Ultraman. I thought it was like an Ultraman knockoff so they couldn't get sued. I had no idea the history of Jet Jaguar. He got special attention in their riff of Godzilla vs. Megalon. The robot's notable big screen appearance. The film was originally meant to be Jet Jaguar versus Megalon, but Toho didn't believe the new robot could carry the movie solo. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, come on. When you have a chance to either, I mean, you want your movie to be a success, you can either go with Godzilla or you can go with Jet Jaguar. So, who's your pick? I'm gonna go with Jet Jaguar. You know, the character that basically knows everything. It's a giant fucking robot. Yeah, no, I'd go with Jet Jaguar. So the bot was created as part of a fan competition, believe it or not. Originally named Red Alone, he was tweaked into the odd-headed fellow you see now. So Jet Jaguar is basically a robot who gains sentience, as well as the body to alter his own programming. The ability to alter his own programming and change his size. That sounds kind of terrifying, but fortunately, we've been reassured he's friend to us all. I'm sorry, this is how I always, once I dug into what the hell Jet Jaguar was after I learned that, oh my god, it's actually a character, it's not from the Godzilla franchise, because I thought maybe it was from a Godzilla movie that I never saw, and like he made like he was a part. I didn't know what the hell it was. Um, I the way that this reads, I'm thinking it's like Gridman meets Ultraman in a way. It's sentient, or there's what was it, Kikaider, I think it was, or Kikaider or something. I know it got a reboot in Japan around the same time that Kamen Rider Gaim was airing, because they had a crossover episode literally right in the middle of a really good arc in Gaim. They have this crossover episode that made no fucking sense and was just literally there just to pad out the runtime, and it kind of pissed me off. But you basically have Jet Jaguar. That's fine. He appeared primarily in the Godzilla spin-off TV series, comics, and games. The games is where I remember him. I don't remember what the name of the game was. Was it? I think it might have been Destroy All Monsters or something. I don't know, but it was the PlayStation 2 game. I played it. Jet Jaguar was an unlockable character, and I'm like, oh, okay, Jet Jaguar. What the fuck is Jet Jaguar? And I'm like, oh, it's a giant freaking robot. Oh, cool. I'll just go Ultraman on his ass. Yeah, yeah. But he may not be as prolific as the big screen on the big screen as his kaiju pals are. But we're all pretty much attached at this point, except for me. I really don't care. But Netflix is being really tight-lipped on this whole Godzilla singular point. And they're doing this. I really hate to say this. Besides the fact that they have the drug dealer business model as their mentality for how they want to get people to come to their service, which is basically every now and then they'll release something for free to entice you to come and subscribe to them and pay them money. And it's, like I said, it's the drug dealer business plan. And by the way, if anybody out there's thinking about this, no, don't do drugs. I know this because I watched a lot of like Law and Order SVU, Law and Order stuff, and they've mentioned it half a dozen times. Plus, it's been mentioned in like half a dozen cartoons. It's what you call the drug dealer business plan. The first hit's for free. Afterwards, you have to pay. It's how freemium stuff works. It's how free trials work. It's a known practice. It's just commonly referred to as the drug dealer business plan. So there's a little background there, just in case you're weirded out. But yeah, they're being really tight-lipped about this, but they're doing it in the right way. They're giving you small tastes of what this is to try to entice you to subscribe ahead of time to get it. Now, whether or not you're going to, that's up to you. Me personally, I could give a rat's ass. I like Godzilla, but I'm more of a fan of Mecha Godzilla than I am actual Godzilla. Sorry, I like Mecha Godzilla more myself. Netflix, on the other hand, can blow me. I'm not a fan of Netflix, so that's the main kill-off for me. So, there's no telling, though, how the returning robot is going to figure in yet. Though, like I said, I had my theory onto this. Based upon the clip that we have, I can just assume how it's going to fit into this. We see him, like, large, slightly modified. He's still in that recognizable color scheme. Sports that same stupid-looking grin, which, oh god, that is creepy sometimes. I mean, that is the thing of nightmares in a way. But sci-fi author To Enjo is in charge of the story. The physicist and sci-fi author is known for his speculative fiction, including one story featuring sentient numbers and another narrated by a morphism. In other words, just about anything goes with this guy. So in his weird way, Jet Jaguar is sort of a link between the Godzilla franchise and its fans. Originally a fan creation, he stayed alive and expanded media for decades, no matter what Netflix holds for him. They're all looking forward to seeing what's going to be next with him. It's going to kick off next year. Personally, for me, like I said, I saw Jet Jaguar in the game. It doesn't thrill me. I'm not gonna, scream, "Oh my God, it's Jet Jaguar! I gotta watch this now." When it's like, "Oh, it's Jet Jaguar." Okay, what else is on? Sorry, at least for me, what draws me to the Godzilla franchise is Mecha Godzilla, and regular Godzilla is like a very close second. That's what draws me to the franchise. If I want to see a giant robot beat the shit out of a rubber-suited monster, I have the Sentai series, I have Ultraman, I have Gridman, I could just pop in Power Rangers. There's so many other things that I can watch that have a humanoid robot beating the living shit out of a rubber-suited monster. If I really want to watch this, even in anime form, I could just watch SSS Gridman if I want to. I could just watch that. I could watch anything else other than this. But, it's Godzilla, so somebody's going to enjoy it. But for me, yeah, okay, if this would be on anything else but Netflix, because I know it is going to be on TV in Japan next year, according to what I had read. Where was that? Yeah, it's going to air on TV in Japan starting in April, but it's headed to Netflix in 2021, which, if it's going to be on TV, why bother having it on Netflix is my question. But for me, Netflix is the deal breaker in this. You could have easily popped up a trailer. You could have told me all this cool stuff about it. You could have suckered me in with that alone. The minute you mention Netflix, the moment that word and that sentence leaves your mouth, it's a deal breaker. I'm done. I'm just not a fan of Netflix. For me, Netflix is just that overabundance of crap that keeps dragging other stuff with it. I mean, look at what they did to Neon Genesis Evangelion. They want to get into the anime industry because they know how lucrative it is. They've seen it firsthand. They know that anime is a high, value moneymaker. Because, well, look what Funimation can do. Look what all these other ones do. They realize that they're not hitting that hard enough group to make themselves some extra cash, so they wanted to sucker in anime fans, and that's what bothers me. Because Netflix is their subscription service. If you want to watch anime online via subscription, you have hundreds of other choices. Hell, I mostly watch anime either like clips on YouTube. I watch episodes that are parts of series that are on Tubi. Pluto has a couple anime channels that have anime on all the time. I think Crackle still has them. Hell, I could even just go to Crunchyroll and just watch fucking anime there. That's the main issue that I have, is you're paying for Netflix, which apparently is also upping their prices again. I think it's going to go up to like $14 and $18 respectively, or $13 and $14 respectively, for like basic and premium. And it's like, you're willing to go to Netflix. You're giving them money, and the only reason why they're making money at this point is because they suckered the anime community into them. Fine, you want to make good anime, be my guest, but at the same time, don't sucker in fans of other stuff by dragging in old school classic shows that you're giving the Netflix treatment to. They don't need the Netflix treatment. If I wanted the Netflix treatment, I would just shove the screwdriver up my own ass. It's like, I don't need Netflix to screw over something that I enjoy just because they want to make a couple extra bucks. So yeah, I mean, while this does look good, and I'm not going to say it's not good, this does look good. At the same time, it's Netflix. You could have told me this would have been on Funimation, or this would be streaming exclusively off of like TV Nihon or something. Like they have a YouTube channel, or it's going to be like an exclusive, like it's going to be online only. It's going to be on YouTube, Hulu, Crunchyroll, all those. It's going to be online exclusive only. You could have told me that, and I probably would have been like, yeah, you know what? I'll check this out. What the hell? The minute you mentioned Netflix, that was it. That was my deal breaker for this, because I'm not a fan of Netflix, and I never will be. But for those of you that are interested, it's coming out sometime next year. Then it'll be airing on TV in Japan starting in April. So yeah, and you figure now, knowing our luck, I think it's gonna be like probably right within the first couple months or within the first quarter of 2021. This will probably hit Netflix, and then just like that, it'll land on Japanese TV airwaves, and then everybody will be like, "Oh, well, I already watched it on Netflix. I don't want to watch it," and that's gonna be a deal killer. Because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I already watched it on Netflix. Why the hell should I bother watching it on TV now? I already know how it goes. So, I mean, they're going to have to do something different between the Netflix and the TV version. I would say, like, have the TV version be, like, more extended and the Netflix one be a little watered down. Because if they try reversing it, whatever they put it up on TV in Japan, that's going to hurt them in the long run. Because everybody's going to make the comment, I already watched it on Netflix. Why should I watch it on TV? And that's honestly the sad part of this. But either way, it looks interesting. Just wish it wouldn't be on Netflix. And you know, while we're on the subject, speaking of Netflix and anime, once again, I'm just this one boggles my mind. Actually, this is something that I would have done a couple years ago, right when you got right at the height of this one's popularity. Because I kind of think it's waned a little bit since then. It may still be as popular, but not as popular as it was. So the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah, you know, it's Valhalla. Yeah, it's gonna be coming out. It just got the manga treatment thanks to Vinland Saga Mangaki Makoto Yukimura. But now Netflix has announced that Assassin's Creed is getting its own anime, which, while good, I'm not gonna say this. While good means, you know, okay, it's good enough to get an anime. This opens up the gateway, and first off, the floodgates to where are some other anime series based upon video game titles. I have been bitching about Golden Sun needing an anime now for how long at this point? I mean, you have 3 games under that thing's belt. At least give us a 4th one to finish out the things. You ended it on a cliffhanger. I know you can hear me, Camelot. I know you can hear me too, Nintendo. Come on, pull your heads out of your ass and give us a 4th Golden Sun game. I don't care if it's on the Switch. I just won't play it because I don't have a Switch. I'm not going to buy one just for that. Unless you're going to put all 4 of the games in one thing. You can just play all of them at once. But you figure Golden Sun deserves an anime. A Custom Robo would be a really good series for an anime. I think there's one, Gotcha Force, that I played. I think that will work out really well as an anime series. And those are just like 3 of them off the top of my head. If you want one for like a really good one that I think would make a good like anime series for teens, Bouncer for the PlayStation 2, that would make a really, really good anime series for teens. Like have that rated for like 13 and up. That would be good. Especially the fact that you could have like different episodes and different specials being like the different choices that you can make, which could really make it stand out. Because that one, Bouncer, was a pretty good PS2 game. I think it's one that a lot of people kind of slept on, though, at least in my opinion. But I'm getting off topic here. I apologize for that. But basically, Assassin's Creed is getting a anime series because Ubisoft has inked the deal with Netflix to make three different versions of Assassin's Creed. A live action version, which why that's literally gonna be like what, Camelot or oh god, it's like so many of them. It's gonna be like something you would see on ABC or CBS or TNT or one of the higher up cable channels like FX or something. Why? Then you have an animated version, which is the second of the three, and a specifically anime version. So we're getting a live action version, an animated version, which could be CGI or cartoon, and a specifically anime version. So there's anime, animated, and live action. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Assassin's Creed, though, is one of the most successful video game franchises ever, with more than 155 million games sold. Yeah. Like I said, if you wanted to do this, there was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That was the one with the pirate ships. That was, I think, where the game hit its most popular stride. I would have done this then to really ride the wave. I mean, like, really ride the popularity wave. You could have had this thing going for a while and tie in, like, newer adventures into the anime series. But now, at this point, unless you're going to start all the way back at the start of the series and you're going to work your way up, this will go on for eternity at this point. Because, I mean, what game are we even up to anymore? You had what? The original Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, 4 I think was Black Flag. I think we had 5. What is it, 6 or 7 at this point? I don't even know anymore. But Peter Friedlander, VP of Original Series at Netflix, that must be a cushy job. It really must be a cushy job. It's gotta be. Gave this statement, and I quote, "We're excited to partner with Ubisoft and bring to life the rich, multi-layered storytelling that Assassin's Creed is beloved for. From its breathtaking historical worlds and massive global appeal as one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time, we are committed to carefully crafting epic and thrilling entertainment based on this distinct IP and provide a deeper dive for fans and our members around the world to enjoy," end quote. That sounds like the business line. That literally sounds like the company line. Like, hey, look, insert, is it a video game? Okay, insert sentence and phrase here. And this is basically our company line tailor-made for video game properties that we're now making into stuff. Look, like I said, Assassin's Creed is a good game. I have watched the gameplay of it. I've never played it myself, but I've watched the gameplay of it. It's a good game. If you wanted to make an anime out of it, I would have done it back when the series was at its peak. Granted, okay, it's popular. Yeah, okay, it's popular. I won't lie, it's popular. It's extremely popular. I mean, I don't know if it's as popular as it was, say, a few years ago, because there's been other games that have come out since then. And its popularity in video games is one of those things that wanes generation to generation and literally from month to month. You can have a game that'll come out, like, let's say, within the first month. By month, I want to say 3. Some other games will have either A, came out, or B, you're going to have the ones that are playing it have now played the living crap out of it. They've seen the ending, and there's nothing left for them to do. A perfect example of this is, look at Red Dead Redemption 2. So many people were playing that game when it came out, and a lot of them were like, oh, well, now we're just going to do, like, really spooky lore. We're going to see what happens if you do this and this. And they were basically creating stuff to pull out the community to go, hey, you guys got to check out this video. I think we really did a good job. Then you have reviewers like Angry Joe, who reviews pretty much any new game that comes out, and several others that were looking at it, and they'll talk about it, and that'll get more of the hype back up. But keep in mind, the second something new comes out, they're going to drop whatever they were playing and go for that new thing. And that's really what happens with a lot of this stuff. So what's annoying about this is, besides the fact that they're giving this a live action, an animated, and a specifically anime version for this franchise, for this IP, at the same time, what they should have done a while back was do a live action movie, which I think there was like a word of this. I think they actually tried, and I don't think it succeeded. I kind of remember there being like a live action Assassin's Creed movie that was released, and I don't think it did well. Hold on. SSI Assassins. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there was an Assassin's Creed movie. I don't even know Oh yeah, adaptations. Yes, there was. Oh my God, there was. Okay, how well did it? How well was it received? I knew there was an Assassin's Creed film, so that would count as live action. Came out in 2016. Okay. All right, it made a small profit. It had a budget of $125 million. It brought in box office of 240.7 million. So you figure though with advertising and other stuff, because they never consider that for the budget. The budget's basically for filming locations, for the cast, the crew, the concession table, all that's into the budget. They never factor in, advertising, runtimes. And keep in mind, for a movie like this, they would have to, for the box office to be a massive success, it would have to make back exactly what they consider the budget to be, plus a little extra the first weekend. Because after that first weekend, then the movie theaters start getting more of the money, which angers a lot of people. Hence why, besides the whole COVID thing, why a lot of them were doing we're just going to start streaming our stuff and you can just watch it at home and pay us directly. They would make more money then, the theaters would get screwed. But in all honesty, the theaters were charging an arm and a leg for you to come in the first place. And yeah, it was basically a screwed up system to begin with, but there is that. Came out, what the hell did this come out? December 13th, 2016 in New York. New York City basically was the release date. 20th Century Fox was the company behind it, which is now owned by Disney, sadly. Let's see, the film is set in the same universe as the video games, but features an original story that expands the series' mythology, taking place during the Spanish Inquisition. Filming began late in August of 2015 and concluded in January 2016. It was released on December 21st, 2016 in the United States and France. It generally received negative reviews from critics that were primarily aimed towards the plot and writing. Though some considered it an improvement over previous video game film adaptations, the film underperformed at the box office, grossing $240 million worldwide against a $125 million budget, making a small profit. So, so we've already had a live-action adaptation. That was what the original Assassin's Creed movie was. So Netflix cannot do a better version of that. Well, okay, anybody could probably do a better version, but Netflix does not have a good track record when it comes to live-action. And even better, with video game properties to begin with, you don't ever have what I'd like to call the, middle ground for really good adaptations of live-action, stuff. Because nothing ever works for that. Look at World of Warcraft. When they went and did the live action movie, it bombed. It bombed here in the US. If it wouldn't have been for the overseas viewings that brought in some money, it would have been a complete and total failure. But it was here in the US. Then you had Rampage, which, let's face it, anybody that's ever seen Primal Rage, you know what that was about. But they basically had that movie. There were so many other ones that just did not live up to the hype that they were pushing out. And Netflix, Netflix might have a good little motif with their live action programming because they've suckered in their audience and they have all that going on. At the same time, it's basically, this is what Netflix is bringing to the party. Do I really want to sit here and watch this? The answer is usually no. That's why I think that's one of the main reasons why Netflix is kind of going towards anime and animated stuff, which bothers me yet to no end. But at the same time, it sucks either way. So, I mean, it is what it is. But as far as this is concerned, this is one of those that I don't think the live action route suits it. This is one that if you want to do a movie for this, it would be better off being like a CGI movie. Like, literally make it feel like the video game, but have a unique story plot to it. Instead of having it be a retelling of the story from start to finish, have it be an original story with a CGI character set. Because then it'll feel like the video game. It'll feel like you're playing the video game, but you're immersed in a movie. And that's the main thing that video game movies so desperately fail to do. So that's for the live action, version, which is going to be like either a live action film or series. Either way, both ideas are stupid. But then you have the anime version, which, sure, fine, go for it. But if this is going to open up the floodgate finally for video game based movies, for video game based anime series, I had better goddamn see Golden Sun start popping up soon. Because we need an anime for that. We have needed that now for so long. That game is well deserving of it now. Yeah, no argument. It is well deserving of it now. So, yeah. Anybody out there want to try your hand at a Golden Sun anime? Let's get this thing let's get this thing rolling here, because I for one want to see it. I know there's many other people out there that want to see it, but I for one definitely want to see it. It would be nice to see it. But yeah, Assassin's Creed's getting an anime, an animated series, and a live action adaptation. Oh, goody. All right, so how many of you out there know of or play Destiny 2? You know, the video game that's sort of like a really good version of a science fiction series. I've seen gameplay of it. That's how I kind of know this. But how many of you out there still play it? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay. Well, if you do, and you raise your hand, because I can't really see you anyway. I should have remembered that. But, yeah. Anyway, if you play this game, you kind of know that come next month, it's going to be a completely different game. Because Bungie, the company that's behind this, is vaulting a number of its planets next month. So, one dedicated player took it upon himself to create a cinematic record of each of the game's campaigns before that happens. First off, that is really cool that you're actually going to be taking all of the campaigns in that and you're going to be compiling it into one sort of video in a cinematic way. That is pretty cool, or at least many videos anyway, but that's still pretty cool. So the idea came to YouTuber Jabonte, or Jabonte, which is Jabonte, I guess, immediately after he heard director Luke Smith announce Bungie's vaulting plans during a June 9th live stream. He decided to play through Destiny 2's main quest line from start to finish in 1080p at 60 frames per second, with no voiceover and minimal icons on the screen, inspired by familiar all cutscene compilations, which, if you've ever seen those, that is literally taking the video game and making it a movie, which honestly is really cool. I've watched a few of those myself. War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. I actually watched the Avengers one like that, which is actually pretty cool. So, yeah, definitely. Those are cool. I do appreciate those. The goal was to capture the game's sprawling sci-fi drama, much of which is conveyed through low-key moments during missions, as naturally and cleanly as possible. No interruptions, sloppy platforming, or accidental deaths. Jabonte, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, by the way. I really do. I apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. So, just want to get that out there. Would be player's tour guide through the Destiny 2, basically, as it has existed since 2017, and before it goes extinct with the next expansion that arrives on November 10th. So Destiny is full of beautiful scenes with incredible music, and I felt like we, as players, fly past a lot of the art and beauty of the game without paying it much attention, he told Kotaku in an email. I really wanted the series to be useful for new players to the franchise who wanted to catch up to the story after it gets vaulted, for returning players that need a refresh, or for people like myself that just love the story in general. And there actually is, I guess, yeah, okay, he actually has the video up here. You can actually see it in the article. It's called 101 Homecoming, The Red War, Destiny 2, the series. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to save and watch that. Okay, I can't really do that. Alright, that's actually pretty cool. So after working for the last several months, Jabonte released Destiny 2, the series on YouTube, apparently last Friday. A 32-episode arc that begins with the Red Legion attacking the tower, spans the Curse of Osiris, Warmind, Forsaken, and Shadowkeep expansions. and concludes with the final interference story mission, or interference, I guess, story mission from the current season of Arrivals. The whole thing clocks in at over 10 hours. But the project itself took much more than that to prepare, produce, and edit. And yeah, as a YouTuber, I can definitely explain that, yeah, that would take a long time. I mean, you got to record it, and you have to, like, edit out any of the spots that, you have to edit out some of the stuff. You got to do this and that. So yeah, it would take a long time. To make the series feel as authentic as possible, all scenes were recorded in full armor sets from the relevant campaigns and expansions. In a scene where the player confronts Cade 6's killer, the hunter who, better to avenge his death, is decked out in a full set of revered Dawn armor from completing everything there is to do in the Dreaming City. Jabonte said as part of he said he also spent a fair amount of time choreographing each mission to figure out how to most smoothly fight through the mobs of enemies and where to pan the camera at key moments to get relevant shots of scenes playing out in a distant skyboxes. So that's actually pretty cool. Taking the time to highlight, and this is a quote from him, taking the time to highlight this for this project. Take the time for this project to highlight the environments, hear the music, listen to the dialogue, and read the prompts on screen has definitely given me a newfound appreciation for all that goes into this game. That's like, I did multiple takes for pretty much every mission, according to Jabonte. I would create two identical Guardians, play through the mission on one to get the timing down, call it a dress rehearsal, if you will, and I recorded it. Then I would do the real run on the other character. This way I had backup cutscenes and recordings in case I needed to try and grab a different shot of something. Really cool. Even then, there were still complications. Ultimately unsatisfied with the initial Dominius Gall's fight for the final episode of the Red War arc, Jabonte had to wait for it to come around again as a daily heroic story mission. Part of the Curse of Osiris expansion was originally recorded on the wrong settings. An untimely attempt to reset the checkpoint and the Scarlet Keep strike meant he missed the final bit of the boss's dialogue altogether. He had to create another character and replay all the story missions up to that point just to grab the boss. Just to grab the boss kill and the voice line to go with it. I mean, you really put a lot of effort into this. This is really impressive, by the way. You put a lot of effort into this. Kudos for you. Watching the outcome of all this effort, two things are immediately clear. Destiny 2 is a gorgeous game that has a really killer soundtrack. Right? I mean, I've seen gameplay of Destiny 2, so it's pretty good. By the way, I'm reading off the article in case you're trying to figure it out. I'm reading off the article. So, yeah. Both of these things, yeah. It's been a while, though, since the players, loot shooters and all that sort of stuff. But this is really cool. Okay, it really is. It's a gorgeous game, and it has a killer soundtrack. But it is a gorgeous game. Yeah, like I said, I've seen gameplay of this. I've watched a few gameplay of this. This is it is a pretty good game, I'm not going to lie. But Jabonte said, I think us Destiny players tend to try to play the game very fast just to get whatever bounty/quest we're working on done. It's all about minimum and maxing. And I know I missed a lot of the smaller details. Taking the time for this project to highlight the environments, hear the music, listen to the dialogue, and read the prompts on screen has definitely given me a newfound appreciation for all that goes into this game. Yeah, I would definitely think so. Still pretty cool. There was a thing though on here. Despite putting all this work into preserve the sense of wonder and excitement of experiencing Destiny 2's main story for the first time, Jabonte isn't against Bungie's decision to vault it. I'm extremely glad they're going to be there's not going to be a Destiny 3, he said. If vaulting things mean Bungie can maintain, tweak, and improve the game easier, then I'm completely on board. We'll have to see how that works in practice, but yeah, I trust Bungie, apparently. So, I mean, this isn't a bad thing. This proves that there's a lot of people out there that have some talent. I mean, he wanted to make sure that every shot was perfect. He wanted to make sure that everything was dead set perfect. You have to admit, that is definitely taking the time and effort into something that otherwise you would have just said, okay, this is fine, and just called it a day. No, that's impressive, and my hat goes off to you for that. Literally for the fact that you can actually, do that, and you planned everything out, you did it all. No, my hat goes off to you for that. It really does. Wholeheartedly. But yeah, definitely appreciate everything that you did on that. That was really cool. I'll check it out myself at some point, but you can check it out in the article. There are videos right there. It's episode 1 of 32. Check that out. Looks pretty cool. I think I think he did a lot of good work and definitely deserves, the adoration that he should get for it. Because, yeah, I mean, you took the time and effort to make every shot perfect. You took the time and effort to figure out everything, to get the best run through you could, to get everything that you could so that you could enjoy the storyline and make it look really cool at the same time. I mean, you did a good job, and you deserve all the credit that you get for that. You really do. Alright, so this definitely has caught my attention. Now, I actually have built, prior to it massively picking up popularity here in the States, I did build a few Gundam models, or Gunplas myself. Of course, they kind of broke, and I was, like, in elementary school, they did kind of break. They wore out, and they, well, got damaged. Since then, I have built one that I'm really proud of, Wing Zero Endless Waltz Custom Edition. And I still have it. I love that one. And I recently, I think it was last week actually, I got a couple of pens from my local Dollar Tree that I can use to do panel lining, because I really want to try to build another one, because this is actually kind of fun. However, if out there you have no idea what in the hell you're doing, or you want a really good starting point in a way, hey, guess what? Hobby Japan is releasing an English translation of Kenichi Nomoto's Handbook for Gunpla modeling via Amazon Kindle. The digital book is going to detail how to assemble Gundam plastic models, otherwise known as Gunpla, and it costs $14.23 American. It's not bad for a book that is going to be the first official translation of a Gunpla manual. Let me say that again. The first official translation. That's really cheap, in my opinion. But it's granted it's going to be digital only, but still, that's really cheap. Despite the international popularity, though, of Gunpla, there have previously been no official manuals available in English. Kenichi Nomoto, or Nomoken's Handbook of Gunpla Modeling, is a bestseller in Japan and has been reprinted many times over the years. Nomoto is a veteran plastic model builder known for his detailed tutorials serialized in monthly Hobby Japan magazine and also published as books. So you're literally getting this from the god of model kit building, basically. Yeah, no, that's definitely that is definitely a selling point there. The book covers the full process of building Gunpla, from the very basics to more advanced techniques to make models look cooler. It offers plenty of useful tips and step-by-step tutorials to suit both beginners about to build their first kit and those looking to take their technique one step further. Gunpla was originally launched in 1980. Over 1 million units have sold within half a year when it was originally launched, shipped within half a year. By 2019, total shipments had exceeded 500 million. To celebrate Gunpla's 40th anniversary, Bandai Spirits has announced various projects, including a collaboration with Japanese professionals, with Japan's professional baseball teams. So this is actually pretty cool. Like I said, I built one. I did put pictures of it up on my Twitter and on well, it's on my Facebook. I didn't put them up on the because I didn't have the web designer page up yet. But I know it's up on my Twitter. You can easily find them. But yeah, I built Wing Zero Endless Waltz custom. I did like outlining the wings. I had a black pen. I like it was a black drawing pen for like lines and all that. I use that and I outline like the wings, the arms. I thought it looks, I think it looks really cool. And in all honesty, it looks cool to me, basically. Would I say beyond a shadow of a doubt, oh, I think this needs, now it looks cool to me. It may not look cool to everybody else, but it looks cool to me anyway. And yeah, I mean, I appreciate, everything that there is to do with this. But yeah, I think I could have probably improved it a little bit. I probably could have did it better, but I like what I did. All right, it's still, besides, Wing Zero is one of my favorites anyway, and I could easily find another one and do it again and basically do it better. I could always find a way to clean them off. There are ways to do that. I know of at least like 6, I think, but I can always Google search just to make sure. But yeah, but either way, this is really cool. And if you are into Gunpla building, model kit building, especially like this is definitely probably going to be a must-have. And with it being a digital-only book, which, first off, I want to know how many pages this thing is, if it's a digital-only book. Because it's been reprinted half a dozen times, right? Or more than that. It's been reprinted many times over the years. So, yeah, you couldn't just, like, make this one giant book and, like, make maybe 100,000 copies and make it very scarce. Digital only works just for that, though, too. But still, a print edition would have been really good to have. But I'll go with digital. I won't be able to actually own it because I don't do Amazon Kindle. But still, this is definitely something for especially for Gundam model kit builders, for Gunpla model builders. This is a must-have, I think. Especially if you want to take your techniques to the next level. And I'm not trying to pitch this thing to you. I'm really not. I just find this interesting because I learned how to build the model kits. I learned how to kind of like improve them with panel lining. That's all the further I've gotten, by the way, from watching the Build Fighters series, like Gundam Build Fighters Try, Build Divers, and Build Divers Re-Rise. And then, yeah, that's literally how I've learned how to, improve my model kits. Now, whether or not I can actually do 90% of the stuff that they do, hell no. But I at least could draw lines on mine to kind of make it pop a little bit. So, yeah, it doesn't look like, oh, okay, I just built the model kit, the wings are white, and nothing there. No, it's like, oh, wow, you can really see the detail in the wings now because I put, like, I outlined it in a black pen to really make it pop. Now, I kind of did like every single panel line, but yeah, it doesn't look bad to me. I like it, but somebody else may go, oh, this is really bad. This is really horrible. You butchered it. No, personally to me, it's what I think it looks like, and I like it. But yeah, either way, it's not a bad thing. And this is actually pretty cool. So, if they would ever come out with this like a print version, it would probably, I guess, it'd be like maybe 60, $70. $15 digital, that's not bad. I wouldn't mind getting a copy of this if I could somehow, but I don't do Amazon Kindle, and I'm not about to start just to get my hands on a book. But still, this is pretty cool. Even just like a PDF version of this would be nice to have. It's like a freaking PDF, literally. And I can just download the PDF, and I can pull it up on my tablet whenever I wanted to. Not have it be an ebook, just literally just like a PDF file. Would be cool. I could just read that. But yeah, no, this definitely has my attention. Especially for this being the first ever official translation of a Gunpla manual. That's definitely something that you should really take a good look at. But yeah, no, this definitely has my attention. This is really cool. Hopefully we get some more stuff like this. But yeah, that is cool. That's got my attention for sure. Alright, so this is one of those interesting things. So, Sony is set to buy Crunchyroll for over $957 million. Or about 1 billion yen, or over 1 billion yen, actually. So, the Tokyo-based electronics giant is reportedly going into the final round of negotiations to buy Crunchyroll. And this is from AT&T, by the way, since they own Crunchyroll, and they've apparently were rumored to be looking to sell it to Sony for about 1.5 billion earlier this year, according to a report from Gizmodo. So yeah, but according to Nikkei Asian or Asia, sorry, well Nikkei Asia, sorry, so in there, the acquisition could cost Sony over 100 billion yen, or $957 million. This comes as Sony obtained the exclusive rights to negotiate for the popular anime streaming service. Up to now, Sony's been licensing its anime, such as the smash hit Demon Slayer, to other anime streaming services. Adding Crunchyroll into its portfolio would put Sony in an even position to face off against Netflix and Hulu. I'm just scratching my head at this point. I mean, Sony has a decent run when it comes to certain platforms. I mean, it had Crackle for the longest time. I don't even know if it still does or not. Because I remember it was called Sony Crackle for a while. Then it was back to Crackle. So I don't even know if they still have it. But they had anime on there, and it was really good. So I'm just kind of one of those skeptics when it comes to this. Plus $957 million for a streaming service. I mean, the numbers on this are starting to get astronomically outrageous here. I mean, it's going to come to the point where, oh, well, I want to buy, like, let's say Google suddenly goes up for sale and they want $5 trillion for them or something. I mean, Jesus, it's getting insane. But Crunchyroll was founded in 2006, now has over 70 million free subscribers and 3 million subscribers. 70 million free members and 3 million subscribers. There you go. AT&T became its parent company in 2018, and then ironically, just a little over 2 years later, wants to sell it. I mean, look, I get you want to turn and burn something, but for God's sake, at least give it a couple months to get its shit together, then consider it, but whatever. In 2017, though, Sony did purchase and acquire Funimation with they didn't purchase it. They acquired it with a 95% controlling stake in the anime streaming service. So they own 95% of it, and the other 5% retains to Funimation. So all in all, we still have, I guess you want to say, the good points of this, but at the same time, Sony wants to own Crunchyroll. They already own a good chunk of Funimation. What's next? They're going to go after Viz? I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Sony has its good moments, but this is not one of them. I mean, at least from where I'm standing at. Sure, okay, Crunchyroll can probably get a little better off and people be able to watch it on their PlayStations and stuff like that, but still, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit well with me. I just can't put my finger on what exactly that is. But it's just not sitting well with me for some reason, and that's basically it. It's just not sitting well with me, and damned if I really know why. It's not sitting 100% well with me. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, there you go. Sony's about to piss $957 million away to buy Crunchyroll. They probably could have knocked that number down a couple $100 million and still came out ahead, but oh well. Gotta love when these companies have money to piss away and burn like it's water. I mean, Jesus, $957 million for Crunchyroll? Seriously? Wow, that's insane. Alrighty, everybody, and that's going to do it then this week for the Absolutely Completely Random podcast. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for submitting their questions for the October Q&A. The November one I'm going to be shooting for, unless something happens to prevent that. Have all your questions in by the 23rd of November, and then I will have it out for everybody, provided the world falls into the proper alignment and Uranus falls into Neptune's Pluto, and, Venus is in line with Mercury and then the moon. Should have it out on Thanksgiving for everybody to enjoy. So that's what I'm shooting for. So have all your questions in for the November Q&A by November 23rd at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If something happens and I'm not able to do it, I will let everybody know. But otherwise, that's the date I'm shooting for, because it makes the most sense. And then I'll put it out on Thanksgiving for everybody to enjoy and, watch when you want to break from your relatives and everybody else that's come over for Thanksgiving. You can watch that. So submit your questions. Don't be afraid. Remember, no politics, no religion. I will not talk about those two topics. Otherwise, anything else is fair game. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, and I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, have a nice week. Bye, everybody, and I'll catch you next time, right here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel.